Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I hope you had a good weekend. Good to see you, Kit. Good to see you, Gale. Good to see you, Brayard. Good to see you, K-Max. Good to see you, Sub-Zero. Good to see you, Ariam. And Kit, congratulations. You have won the Crown of Furstendom. The Crown of Demix time, because I just think that joke's funny. Ariam, you are correct there. The message was, in fact, Demix time, but we're doing back cover, but Demix is technically there. We think, maybe, I don't know. Also, my voice is a little off because I had a baptism to do yesterday, and I didn't have a microphone, so I had to project the entire time. So that's why. But also, KMX is completely right. Today is substitute teacher day because I woke up at 4 a.m. to catch my flight back to New York. Yeah. Oh, good to see you, Badrex. Good to see you, Adam. What happened to Kingdom Hearts X front cover? It was a mobile game that you can't play anymore, but you can still download and watch the cutscenes of. Hello, Bacon! This series is complicated and I hate it. I love it. Before we begin, though, I do want to say a special thank you to Adair Hope. I got a package in the mail, and it said candy on it, and so I automatically assumed it was not good candy. And I opened the package, and it's, in fact, pralines. So, look at that. Texas Chewy Pecan Pralines. Let's try these out. How can I get into this? So yeah, so we're gonna watch the Union Cross back cover movie, but that's only an hour long. So we're then just gonna, I think, hunt hidden Mickeys. I am, like you might be able to tell, a little tired and out of it, but having a good day. It was very sweet of Hope, quite literally. Let's try one of these out, and by us I mean me. Those are big. There are 6 in this package. That is a thick praline. All right, well, let's... Have I watched the Limit Cut secret episodes yet? No. It kind of was a busy week. But anyway, also my Stream Deck isn't working because it needs to be updated. So I can't have my fancy transition stinger, so... Like we used to do. All right, let's watch this. Why is the book so low res? Oh, right, because they're taking visuals straight from the mobile game. That's what it looked like. There's a lot of text happening here that is disturbingly important, and I cannot read it. Us will try the candy as much as us will play. Well, you know, I'm using us in the royal sense. Plus, it's a play on the call to prayer. Let us pray. Thank you, Hope. That is a good praline. Let us eat pralines. Oh yeah, also Donald, Mickey, and Goofy are there, which has some weird implications that they're thousands of years old, but apparently, and like Beast is there, and like all these other Disney worlds, but apparently those are the sleeping worlds, and so that's why they can have these characters that Sora will meet. You watched this movie last time you called in sick to work? It's your comfort movie. Donald, Goofy, or Turtle? Yeah, but wouldn't they have then remembered meeting some of these people and what a Keyblade was? You know what's really nice about this praline? Is it's not overly sweet. It's actually a really, like... It's not saccharine at all. It's actually like a very mild caramel. Dark Chirithy. I don't remember what that is, but... Yeah, Grant. What's the point? Well, the text only says like 3 things. So by the time this is all over, you might have been able to read it. Also, yeah, that's your player character. You die at the end of the game. It's a confusing game. Packing is getting there. Bad news, still not complete. Well, it's on its way, though. That's good.
So that makes you the indisposable number 7. Huh.
Why does
Come
that sound
on,
like
it's
disposable?
simple. U6 plus me is 7.
Hey, Mel.
Wait. Don't tell me I don't count.
No.
So the guy standing, well, the guy who was standing is Luxu, and this guy is the Master of Masters.
Here, take it.
In the Master's playful and mischievous way, he gave his apprentice Luxu a very important role.
It had nothing to do with anyone else.
What seemed like a simple task was the element that would connect all of the events to come.
Mushu pork?
Long, long
Why is that
ago,
cocaine cool? I mean,
all the worlds were
just
still
is.
one.
black leather,
One day,
hood, chain.
this would be called the Age of Fairy Tales. It all began
Literally
here
no one else ever
in
calls it that, but
Daybreak
anyway.
Town. The Master of Masters had an eye that gazes into the future. He bestowed upon 5 of his 6 apprentices a copy of the Book of Prophecies, in which was written the events to come.
Oh yeah, Daybreak Town is actually really pretty and nice to explore in the game, when you can. Look, just because there's an all-seeing eye doesn't mean that whoever has it is evil. Ah, chapter title, Case of Ira.
So, did you look through the book?
Yes. But I'm still analyzing it.
Wow, no quick skim for you, huh?
I just prefer to be thorough. Master, is what it says in the last passage true?
Oh yeah, that. Bummer, huh?
Yes.
By the way, if one day I suddenly disappear, I'm counting on you to keep the others calm, okay?
Huh?
I feel like Master
Disappear?
Masters isn't on the up and up.
Vanish, dim, fade. I don't know how to explain it. It's just hypothetical talk.
Okay.
But what if I did disappear?
This world is full of light. It's a world comprised of many smaller worlds, all connected, stretching as far as the eye can see.
You don't like his uniform? His
One
unicorn
great
helmet?
light protects us all.
You're gonna
throughout
hate the
this
others.
vast land. All worlds share one light.
The White
One
Lotus
fate.
wins gold. Where do I get one? Probably Etsy.
I take it you're talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yep, you're right on the money. People believe that the light that is Kingdom Hearts will be here forever. But if it were to disappear, the world would be enveloped in darkness.
I understand. And that is why you granted us these Keyblades. With these, we can spread the teachings of light. And we can protect Kingdom Hearts from darkness.
No, they're not for protecting Kingdom Hearts.
What?
Huh?
The final passage reads, "On that fated land, a great war shall transpire. Darkness will prevail, and the light expire."
Isn't it our
he write the
duty
whole
as
book of
Keyblade
prophecies in rhyme,
wielders
you
to
think?
prevent this war from taking place?
Not possible.
What?
You really think you can change the future?
Then, what do you want us to do?
We have to focus on what comes after. There's no use thinking of ways to change events that we know are gonna happen.
But what about all of those who are here now? And the ones who will be here when the darkness finally comes? Are we to abandon all of them?
The future just
Come on, you telling me that you think the world can be saved by just 7 people?
7? That's
We
the
have
number
to
of
at
the
least try.
Guardians of Light.
With enough Keyblade wielders, we could...
Well, if you want to give it a shot.
Yes.
Alrighty, good luck.
This dude's hat is ridiculous. Hey, Calmage. Again, if you hate that hat, wait until you meet the snake.
And so the reliable Era, who wore the mask of the unicorn, was given his role to take over for the Master and to lead the others. Similarly, the virtuous Envy, who wore the mask of the snake, was given her role to watch over the others with a fair eye.
Dwarves?
The fearless Aced, who wore the mask of the bear, was given his role to support their brand new leader, Era. The prudent Ava, who wore the mask of the fox, was given her role to prepare exceptional Keyblade wielders for the world after. The cool-headed Gula, who wore the mask of the leopard, was given his role to uncover the mystery of the Book of Prophecies.
It sounds like they're all meant to be working together. What could possibly go
Lucian,
wrong?
the first of the apprentices to be given their role, watched his companions from afar as they learned what it was that they were meant to do. Then, he disappeared.
I think I was in
Not long after that,
the Leopard
master
Clan. I can't
vanished.
remember.
dimmed
I didn't really pay
and
attention
faded
that much.
without a trace.
The box! Yes. Also, I think that's all that gets mentioned of the box and Lushu in this. Looks like their names match 7 Deadly Sins.
This is
Oh,
where
really?
your story began.
What?
The story of
Oh, yeah, I
your
guess.
very own adventure. 5 of the Master's apprentices armed themselves with the Book of Prophecies. They each created a union. This would fulfill his
Master
wishes.
Master should match Pride. Ah, Sora.
Then, they set out to rally Keyblade wielders just like you. By defeating Heartless, the monsters of darkness, they would gather light.
It was an in-game currency. Kingdom Hearts X Key back cover?
There's a traitor among us.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Are you certain? What proof do you have?
I found this sniffing around.
It's a Chirithy.
Is that a dark Chirithy?
No, it's a regular Chirithy.
Is that a nightmare?
Because remember, Chirithy's a dream eater, so the dark Chirithy would be a nightmare.
Master, did you make this?
Yeah, it's definitely
So
a different kind of pride grant.
Well, things
that's one of
are
the
gonna get
tricky things
pretty
around
hectic
translation,
around here
like
soon.
where
This
different words
spirit
come from,
Chirithy is gonna
etymology, all
make your
that.
lives much easier.
But
Hopefully.
we know
Spirit.
what it means to be
You could
proud of
say they're
something
like
versus
cats or dogs.
prideful.
And they'll be
And
your
the
loyal
prideful is the
pets.
problem.
Every wielder will have one of these adorable little guys at their side. They're here to help, so play nice.
Okay.
That's the Chirithy.
Oh, right. Before I forget, if a wielder is overcome by malice, or rather, if their heart is tainted by darkness,
Well,
their
there's a difference
adorable
between
little
tainted and
spirit
overcome.
will turn dark and become a nightmare.
So you're telling us that if we see a nightmare,
Someone has fallen into darkness.
Exactly. And if you don't stop this renegade spirit, it'll plant darkness in the hearts of others. And you'll have an army of nightmares on your hands. Beware.
So,
Beware.
if we
Beware.
see one of these
Be a very
nightmares
wary
anywhere,
bear.
we have to get rid of it on the spot.
No! I won't let you do that!
No wonder you ended up as the bear. You're scary.
Your
What?
point?
Maybe you can growl at them.
Ugh, don't insult me!
Come on, Hased. You won't know if it works unless you try.
Please tell me you're joking.
Poor Assad.
It's not me!
He takes everything literally.
There's an easy way to solve this. If we all summon our spirits, then we'll know.
Unfortunately, there are countless wielders in our unions. It would be easy for any of us to summon a Chirithy that isn't a nightmare. I'm afraid that your suggestion wouldn't help us get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, in that case, who's to say that the nightmare you saw belongs to one of us? It could belong to anyone in our unions.
That's highly unlikely. Do you recall the tool the wielders were given in order to make them stronger?
The Keyblade?
We generally don't concern ourselves with what they have at their disposal. However, I believe those tools were the Nightmare's doing.
How do you see out
The
of that
bangles. I know when they're equipped, they have the power to collect dark energy. But I thought we all agreed that was okay.
Collecting is fine, but using that power is the equivalent of using the power of darkness.
thing? Yeah, but Riku does it and
It's
he's
a
fine.
brilliant plan. Everyone knows that all spirits look the same, and wielders exist in spades. There's no way to tell.
Oh no. Everyone's already equipped their bangles.
So what now? How do we find out who's behind this?
Seeing as those bangles couldn't have been acquired by just anyone, I believe it's one of us here in this room.
What are you talking about? The bangles
No,
were given
Ira.
to everyone
I
in the
respectfully
unions.
disagree. What proof do we have that the bangles are tied to the power of darkness, or if a nightmare is to blame? We shouldn't simply jump to conclusions.
Ira, some leader you are.
Your
You've
job is to
managed
support
plant
him.
seeds of doubt in all of us with that speech. What? Did you expect the traitor to give themselves up with that accusation of yours? That was foolish.
Assed, that's quite enough.
It looks to me like the Master made the wrong choice.
You're
Wait,
supposed to be the
Where do you think
wingman.
you're going?
I think we're done here.
I
I
think the
trust
blue
you'll
hair's
keep us all
natural. It's
updated.
Kingdom Hearts.
I hope we can all resolve this soon.
Yeah, I mean, so difference between pride and prideful. You know, if you work
That
hard on
didn't go as
something, you can be like,
expected.
yeah, I'm proud of this.
What's
this
wrong,
is a good
Ira?
thing. And in
isn't
a sense,
like
it is celebratory
A
and still
lost
outward.
page.
And I think that's a major part of
Something's missing
understanding
from our book of
sin
prophecies.
versus virtue. Whereas
Each
pride
of our
is,
copies
look at
were
how
said to
amazing
contain
I
the
am
events of
because
the
of what I
future.
have done.
But this incident,
And it
well, it's nowhere
pri-
to be found.
The sin of pride is ultimately rooted
And
in
how does this
thinking
whole
you can
thing
do
with the
everything
traitor
on your
tie
own.
together?
Like I said, it's nowhere to be found. In my book.
It's probably just the
Ira.
lighting.
Are you implying that someone is in possession of the missing page? And the person with the complete book is the traitor?
There is something going on, and a page is suspiciously missing
Greg.
from the book. It's not so far-fetched to assume that the one who has the lost page has been turned, that they have fallen into the hands of darkness. Trust me.
There seems to be no record of it in my book either. You may be onto something. I wonder, could this have been the Master's plan all along?
Why don't you compare your books of
to
prophecy then,
grant the
since
lost page to only one of us?
We have no way of knowing.
yeah, exactly, Grant.
The Master is gone.
I understand what you're saying. I promise to keep a close eye on the others. I will keep you informed.
But what if it's her?
As always.
What if she's making the is
Thanks.
pretending to not
Of
have the
course.
lost page?
After all, that is what the Master asked of me. And Ira, may your heart be your guiding key.
Hey, we had to fit it in there somewhere. the Master did ask a lot of things, and was also like the case of envy.
So, to sum it up, I'll need you to observe the others. Easy breezy.
All right.
The things
Like
he
I
says are
said.
kind of contradictory.
Ira may have to take over for me. But don't be shy. Just be fair.
This is a
And
movie.
do not be afraid
Yeah.
to speak up.
It's kind of a.
Even though I say observe, you'll need to be the mediator.
They
Make
tell
sure
some of
people
this
get
story in the
along.
mobile game, but like through
understand.
text things. So this was them kind of turning it into a movie.
Without you or
And this
Lucio,
isn't even the main
to
story
form
of
and maintain our
the-
own unions is
of the mobile game. The mobile game actually follows
it's
its
a
own
little
story.
unnerving, to be honest.
Complicated.
Oh, come on. Lighten up a little. Maybe I'll never disappear. Wait. Do you want me to go?
What? No, of course not.
I was just kidding.
Oh, I see.
Look,
Yeah, they turned
I get that change can be
358
hard
over
for
2 days
everyone,
into a movie and
but things need to keep
coded
moving
because those are
forward.
both DS games.
You
so
need to keep up.
two screen, one
Otherwise,
screen
you'll
can be
just
hard,
get
supposed
left
to touch
behind,
stuff.
all alone.
But this one is not even necessarily
Now
a
that you know what
game.
the future
It was more
holds, in me,
hints of a story told
your
in a
heart
game
say?
that they're like, yeah, we should probably just tell this whole story on its own.
May your heart be your guiding key. I say it all the time.
Master
You
Master
ultimately
Picton
need to
turns it
do
closer
what your
sense of
heart
humor.
feels is right.
Yeah. Well, I think Lucio fits that bill in the
Right.
end. A few days
I was
later.
wrong.
What?
I thought he would make a great
Oh,
leader.
good. My computer
He
goes to
let me
sleep during
down.
this because it doesn't count as a game.
Well,
apparently.
what do you two think? You don't believe what Ira said, do you?
Of course not. His argument was unconvincing. It's like Invi said. He's just making baseless assumptions given the situation. There's no evidence to tie his accusations to anyone, let alone one of us.
Maybe
The PS3
there's
collection did
something
that.
he
Well, of
hasn't
course
told
it
us.
did.
And he needs to tell
Why
us.
would we have?
How dare
Although
he look at
no,
us
this
with
wasn't on the
suspicion?
PS3. This
We're
was
his
released on the
comrades.
PS4.
I
Because this is in
wouldn't call us
2.8.
comrades.
Although I would have done that on the
Anyway,
1.5 and
Could you
2.5
get to the
collection,
point?
which was on the
I
PS3.
know you didn't call us here just to complain.
I
know too
want
much.
the three of us to form an alliance.
But alliances are forbidden, I said.
I knew it. I had a feeling it would come to this. So,
Oh, very nice,
we
Grant.
join forces, then confront Ira?
Confronting him is
Less work to make the
pointless.
first two movies.
Ira won't change his
Actually,
mind.
they had to completely voice them and animate them
I know there's darkness at work.
because they
There's no question.
took the cutscenes
But
of the games.
I don't believe for a second there's a traitor among us.
But being on the DS,
Unfortunately,
it didn't have
Ira doesn't
the-
share the same belief.
it didn't have this level of
He's
quality.
just wasting time trying to figure out who the traitor is. The darkness won't wait, and neither should we. We need to band together now and find a way to fight it.
Guess it makes sense.
So teaming up is forbidden
agree
unless
that
you're
we
in a
need to do
union, and then you're a
something to
lot of
fight the
people teaming up
darkness.
together.
But combining our
Yeah,
unions,
good luck with the backing.
that was strictly forbidden by the Master.
He's no longer here.
I'm in. But let's be clear. The alliance is just between the two of us right now. I don't want my union members involved.
Or you could just talk.
Cool.
No. No, that's way too easy.
I want to follow the Master's teachings.
Understood. That's your choice to make. You should do whatever you feel is right.
Yeah.
By the way, Ased, do Ira and Invi know?
I haven't talked to Ira about it for obvious reasons, but I did ask Envy to join us.
Hey,
You
look at
wanted
that
to see
timing.
me? Gula, Ava, what are you doing here? What's the meaning of this?
Hear me out,
we have
Envy.
plot.
I want an alliance among our unions.
Well,
Gula here has already agreed.
Asad's not
Will
that
you
bright,
join
so,
us?
he
And
helps.
together we
And
can...
disobey the Master's teachings?
We don't have a choice. Darkness is approaching, and we need to combine our strength to stand against it.
The Master bestowed each of us with a different role, and he specifically told us to keep our union separate, to maintain the balance of power. He told us that any imbalance would lead to a desire for more power, which leads to darkness. I know you haven't forgotten. Perhaps it's you who has been tainted by darkness.
I'm tainted by darkness? Then what about you, Envy?
that's a good question.
You spy on us and report everything you see back to Era. You really think you have no darkness
Because
in your
Ob is
heart
not
after
there
what you
when they're
did?
res
Because
back
that
at
is
Keyblade
my role.
Graveyard.
To observe us, yes, but not to disclose everything we say and do to Era.
That's...
For all we know, you and Era could be allies, scheming behind our backs.
that's enough.
He isn't called arrogant when he's prone to wrath. Yeah. Yeah, and the naming thing gets weird because then you have Lucio. And it's like, what's in his Lucio?
When will it stop? I don't want us to turn against each other.
Master Alva.
Oh, hello. Your name is Ephemer, right?
This is the guy Sora saw in his vision when all the
Hey, can I
Keyblades
join
came and
you?
helped him to defeat the giant darkness.
Why the long face? Did something happen?
Long day. Do you remember what you asked me before? About why
She
the
literally
unions
has a long
compete
face.
against each
Yeah,
other
but
instead of
Unicorn guy
working
has a
together.
longer one.
Actually, I always wondered the same thing.
Huh? Isn't it just because the Master said so?
Yes. And as such, we must obey. The Master said so.
Well, no,
So
Ava's
it
the
is.
fox.
Lately,
Oh, I did not know that,
I really
Ariam.
started to wonder.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Also, that
You
makes
once told me that you were looking for answers. That you wanted to solve the mysteries of this world. Well, I think that's how things should be. We need to question things and think for ourselves.
Whoa! You are really not yourself today. I guess even foretellers have their off days. Hey, maybe talking about the book will cheer you up.
Not a chance.
Aww.
If they're not supposed to talk about the book, then how does Ephemer know
You were
about the
trying to
book?
pull a fast one on me, weren't you?
Oh, no, I was joking.
Yeah.
You say so. But to be honest, I think it would be great if all the unions could work together and be friends.
KMX coming
You know,
in with the
I made a friend from another
2014
union
memes
today.
here.
Wasn't much of a talker. Maybe just shy. We're meeting again tomorrow.
I think that's the player
That sounds
character
like
he's
so much
talking
fun.
about.
Then you'd better go home and get some sleep.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. I don't know what's got you down. But please cheer up.
Please cheer up, chat. It's that simple.
Thank you. If the worst happens, I'll be glad to leave the future to the kids who see the world in the way that you do. Let the wind carry you far, far away. My dandelions.
Which is weird because I don't think she's established the dandelions yet, but anyway.
Envy. Have you learned something?
Envy is short
It
for the
seems
sin
Ased
of
and Gula's
invincible.
unions
Wait,
are now allied.
kid.
So Ased is the traitor after all.
No, I don't believe he is.
Why's that?
To Ased, unification is a means of gathering strength to oppose the darkness. So I believe his heart still belongs to the light.
Even so, forming alliances was strictly forbidden by the Master.
Yes, and his teachings are absolute. That's why I will try and persuade Gula to dissolve their alliance.
Then I'll do it.
No, please let me do the talking.
I didn't call you
Your
kid.
intervention will do nothing more than spur Ased's anger.
All right. I'll leave it to you.
And one more thing. Aset has begun to question the two of us. As a precaution, my reports will be less frequent. I don't want him to get the wrong idea. Please understand.
Yes, I do.
Rotata. Well, I'll keep it simple. Today's my 7th anniversary of priesthood. So I didn't have a mask because I was traveling, but just definitely giving thanks for the journey and for the opportunities and the ministry and getting to do things. So, but we do have a candy spin, so I'm gonna.
I think I'm done.
Done with what?
The Alliance. I think it's time to call it quits.
For what reason?
I'm gonna spin the candy wheel off screen so
To put
that
it simply, I entered this alliance thinking we were preparing to fight some impending darkness, but it hasn't come. In fact, there haven't been any suspicious incidents recently, and you haven't rallied anyone else to your cause.
Yeah, but
This alliance is meaningless. Even Envy agrees.
extra spicy
Envy?
burrito. Extra
Uh-oh.
picante.
You weren't supposed to find out.
is Envy the one who told you to break our alliance?
What? No, I just decided we should-
Maybe.
Oh,
But I'm the one
Never
who
mind.
decided to do it. And I've already told you why.
But we don't even know who the traitor is yet!
he's being pretty reasonable, my dude.
And that's exactly why. I just can't trust anyone but myself.
Don't you realize you won't stand a chance against the darkness on your own?
He has his
Sorry,
union.
My mind's made up.
Envy, you will
I have to combine
regret
this-
this.
Pulparindo with a beer candy. So I grabbed the IPA one. Mm-mm.
Been
my name
here
is on this
long?
book.
My bad.
No.
So, what did you want?
You didn't forget, did you? You're the one who called me here.
Lighten up! I was just kidding. I didn't forget. Give me a
The
little
Portellers
credit
have
here.
no
I was
humor.
just testing you.
Right.
Now then, allow me to tell you about your role. You're going to be Ira's right-hand man.
What? Ira's right-hand man? What do you mean?
Well, Ira's
I mean,
gonna
number
be the
two
new
seems
leader
pretty good.
after I'm gone, you see. So, just stand by him. Don't disappoint.
Explain to me, Master. What do you mean Ira's going to be leader?
What? Is that disappointment I hear? Did you want to be leader?
No! I mean, if you had asked me to be the leader, that's a different story, but I wasn't trying.
You really want to be leader, huh?
Well...
I think if you look
I
at
know you want it, but that just
Come on,
isn't
be
enough.
liturgically correct. Let's see.
Any chump can say, here's a huge promotion. Good job. And make you head honcho. But enthusiasm alone
Nope.
doesn't make a great leader. Ira needs someone
Sort
like
of.
you to give him a push in the right direction.
I agree. Ira is definitely the most worthy among
Doesn't
us.
knowing the book of prophecy
I'm sure
affect the
he'll
prophecy?
make a fine leader.
Then it's settled.
Yeah, but
Wait,
it's a
I
blank
agree
page, so
that
it
he
doesn't
is
matter.
worthy. But why do we need a new leader, Master? Does that mean you will no longer be teaching us?
Well, I might disappear one day.
You might choose to disappear.
Well, I might disappear.
Disappear? Why? Where?
Speak up sooner if you're listening. It was embarrassing for me. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna disappear or not. It's anyone's guess right now.
But
Why is he going to disappear,
In any
though?
case, you need to support Ira. We both know he's quite serious. He's always just thinking and thinking and thinking behind that unicorn mask of his. So everyone will be counting on you to spur him into action.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, Ray Chase
You
does a
might
great
not
job.
be entirely happy with your role, but just know that it's the most important one. Capiche?
That's what you've said of all of them.
Shall I elaborate? Making Ira the leader is all good in theory, but sometime later you might think, he's terrible at this. In which case it'll be your job to step up. Who knows? Your leadership might be just what everyone needs. And that is your true role.
You just planted dangerous seeds of
May
ambition.
your heart be your guiding key. Best of luck, Arsad.
It's been over a year since the Master left. It's time for me to fulfill my true role.
That's not Ira. Terrible advice, or really good advice if you want them to be fighting. Okay, incoming teachers are present. Oh. Yeah, I had a flight to catch. But I'm here.
Why do you get in my way?
I was able to make it back to New York on time. Although, the air train at the airport was broken. So that was a fun diversion.
Don't be so conceited. I'm protecting the balance. Just
Five
like the
petals
master
breaking
told
apart.
us
What
to.
could be a metaphor of?
You need to come to your senses.
If we don't do something, light will expire. Then we won't be able to avoid the grim future that awaits. We need to defy the Master's teachings to protect the world.
You're saying he was wrong?
He's not here anymore. I won't let his prophecy come true. I won't let the world fall into darkness.
You fool!
They did a good job choreographing these fight scenes. They're very anime.
Ava, over here!
Tries to stop prophecy, potentially causes prophecy.
Assad,
I mean, it's a classic
what's
thing,
going
right?
on?
I found out who the traitor is. Regrettably.
No, that's not true.
It's not true because it's me. Wait.
Ava, there's no time to lose.
Her Keyblade is
May
the
my
most
heart be
different
my
of all.
guiding key.
Arsad, what did you do? Trey requires planning action. Arsad has second part down. I don't think he's capable of the first. Yeah, well, and what's the leopard guy's name? I can never remember it. Anyway, Agula.
Master,
Gula has the planning, but can't do the action.
Master?
I see.
If you're busy, I can always come back later.
Sure. Oh, no, stay. Now where? Ah, here it is.
What's this?
Go on, read it.
The lost page.
This is from the Book of Prophecies. But
Yep. It's a page that's not in any of your books.
and what's written here is
Your role. You must find the traitor hidden among you, and stop them before it's too late.
But what if he is the
And
traitor?
in order to help you find the traitor,
I get it. That's why you gave us all different roles, isn't it? If anyone deviates from the job they were given, we can easily conclude that they are the traitor.
So I guess the
It's
missing
brilliant.
page is just their jobs.
way to steal my thunder, show off. Huh? It's not fair. My plan was supposed to blow your mind with its grandeur. Your jaw should have hit the floor at my sheer genius.
I'm sorry? Was my logic flawed?
Oh, you're right. So, I guess now you've earned your time in the limelight. Even though there is a traitor, act normal and keep focused. Trust no one but yourself.
But again, what if he's the traitor? It's a really weird script. Also, why wouldn't you tape that into your book or something?
Trust no one but myself.
The master's position is to manipulate all the masters. He wants the violence to happen. Why? We're not entirely sure yet. We'll find out in Kingdom Hearts 9.4. Reverse upside down Sigma.
Do you want to know what my role is? Huh? The books we were given are incomplete. There's a lost page.
Yes, we all know that.
Lost page?
We
On
know
page,
that!
It is written that there is a traitor. The master told me
The Kingdom Hearts made of flesh or stone. I think they're made more of
to
metaphysical
find
reality.
and stop that person.
I called you my comrade. But never again, Gula. It doesn't matter to me if you think I am the traitor and you want to strike me down. You knew there was a traitor and you just watched silently as we fought each other. And I won't forgive you for that.
You can
You
barely
all
stay on
knew
your
there was a
feet.
traitor at a certain point.
Just give up already.
Don't you underestimate me!
Don't think Asa and Nava do. I thought they talked about it at the table.
Please stop!
You too, huh?
Yeah, how dare she just walk in on one foreteller attacking another and be like, oh, I should defend my friend.
Why? Why did it have to come to this?
So we could have a Nani Omoe Moe Shinderu moment in our Kingdom Hearts.
Come to finish me off? Then make it quick.
That's not what brought me here today. I wish to fulfill the role bestowed upon me. That's all. It isn't our place to try to change the events of the future. That is not our mission.
What? Weren't you the one who was
We're
like,
here
I'm
to
gonna
make
try and
sure
change the
that
future?
light lives on. With only 5 lights, we can't afford to lose any.
You still
What was
count
Ira
me as
doing?
one of the 5 lights?
Thinking.
Of course.
Only you could be such a good guy after everything we've been through. But hey,
I kind of
I guess
genuinely hope
that's
we
one
never
of the
see these
reasons I
people without their
respect
masks.
you so much. However, we still might only be 4. I'm talking about Gula. He's using the knowledge of something called the Lost Page. He said that it contains events that are missing from all of our books. He's using it to discover and apprehend whoever is the traitor.
So it doesn't make him
Claims
a
that's his role.
good guy? Oh, well. Man,
Who
this is the
knows
most
what his
elaborate,
real intentions
like,
are.
werewolf blood on the clock tower social
What I do
deduction
know
game ever.
is that I'll never forgive him for hiding the fact that he knew someone would betray us.
And it has swords.
That's the biggest betrayal of all.
I'd like to believe that Gula was simply carrying
But-
out his role.
If he is
Assad,
doing his role,
I'll deal with this matter.
shouldn't you be happy
Please
he
keep
kept
it
it
to
secret
yourself
because
for
that was
now.
his role?
Understood.
I need to see that lost page.
Well, you don't get to. It's not your role.
Why did you tell Ira? It had to be you, because you were the only one who knew where we were hiding. Didn't you think for a second that your actions could be
Secret
making
we're
things
Bloodtown
worse
of
than they
Amon
already
Duck.
are?
And why should that even bother you? Not only do you have your union, but you've also gathered the finest Keyblade wielders from other unions, and you're training them in a secret location, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, because that is my role!
I had no idea. I
feel like
apologize.
the foretellers could just say,
Overstepped.
that's my role, and get
No.
away with whatever they want with each other.
I shouldn't have snapped at you either.
I could be viewed as a keeper of secrets, I guess.
What did Ira want?
Although I don't really keep them, I forget them.
I don't know exactly.
Mine like an iron sieve really helps.
He just asked me to give up Gula. His eyes, they were scary. I was worried he'd do something awful. I knew I couldn't tell him where Gula was. Then
You're
he
a
turned around and
jerk. That's
walked
my role.
away.
Oh, okay.
I see. And Gula? How is he doing?
That's my role.
I don't know.
I got a 1.
He's gone.
Me eating last cinnamon bun, obviously trouble. No, it's okay. This is my role.
Someone's coming. They're headed straight this way.
Take care of him. Ira?
Also, it's so weird that they have all these cutscenes in the middle of this town, and we don't see any
Is
other
something
Keyblade
wrong?
wielders except for like specific cutscenes.
I know Gula's here.
What?
Tell me where he is.
But why? What are you going to do?
None of your concern.
No, I feel like it's my concern.
Don't.
What?
I won't let you near him.
So that's it. All right. I'll go.
Sure, Mel, what's cool?
Gula, what are you doing?
something happen.
Why didn't you take him to
Ira
like an
was
actual
here.
building or something? Why are you in an alley?
He wanted me to give you up.
I knew it. It's finally come to this.
Come to what?
Everyone wants to know about the lost page.
The lost page?
Yeah. It's a page the Master gave me. It doesn't exist in any of our books. It contains a passage about an inevitable betrayal. It talks about the one who bears the sigil.
The sigil being an X,
That's
by the
it.
way.
So, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. My role is to find out who it is. I suspected Aced and went to confront him,
Oh, maybe it was Lucio all along.
and look what happened.
Why are you telling me this, Gula?
Oh, that's cool. That's a really good price.
I have enough to think about, keeping with the Master's teachings and my role.
Always walking the straight and narrow. I'm a fool for basing my actions on what is written on that lost page. Everything in the passage is ambiguous at best.
Yeah, it's a book of prophecies.
That's why. I need to find out.
But how?
By asking the Master.
But he's not here anymore.
I'm going to summon Kingdom Hearts.
What?
Then he'll have no choice but to come back.
Summoning Kingdom Hearts is forbidden!
That's exactly why. The only way to get him back is to break the rules. If things don't change, the entire world is doomed. But in order to go through with it, I'll need Lux. I don't have nearly enough.
Lux is the
We always do the right
in-game
thing.
currency light source.
Help me with this.
I'm sorry. I know you want the Master to return. But you don't know how summoning Kingdom Hearts will affect the rest of the world. The Master...
I believe
he
the
forbid it for a
world at
reason.
this point in the canon is in fact one world,
I'm afraid I can't help you.
whereas where we experience through the rest of the series, it's been split into multiple worlds. We'll make him back by breaking all the rules. All the rules! Well, maybe
May your heart be your guiding key.
maybe he was the betrayer all along. He just didn't know it.
Ghoul is on a mission to collect Lux.
Gonna send up a sin flare, is what they're doing.
That explains why Aced and Ira are as well. They're trying to maintain the balance. But that isn't the balance we were expecting
Cause
to
Armageddon,
keep.
he'll have to come back.
If
Ugh.
everyone's collecting light
Can't force the end times.
solely for themselves, Keyblade wielders will soon turn against one another, which will lead to the Keyblade War.
And what's written in the book, all of it will happen.
Yes, just like the Master wanted
Light
it
will
to.
expire.
No, it won't. Well,
Envy,
the light,
what
the
are you
world is
going to
light,
do?
and
I'll
the
gather
world with
Lux,
capital
too.
W will break apart.
No matter
But-
what, the balance
So if you're
must
Russia,
be
don't
kept.
force the end times force you.
Ava,
that's
You
so
do the
sad.
same.
Hey,
You
Piconi.
must delay the inevitable.
right.
Ooh, poor Vinny. Prayers for him. Prayers for the family. Is this still Kingdom Hearts? Yeah. In fact, this is like the beginning prequel of Kingdom Hearts. Well, if you have to, I hope you can move it. Moving serialized ones can be tricky.
What's written in the last page of the book is gonna happen. The entire world will be lost to darkness.
But Master, Isn't there anything we can do?
Well, that's what brings me to your role. You might just be the only hope of keeping light from expiring.
Hope? Master, what is it that you need me to do? Oh,
Don't get involved in any battles. Forget the notion of unions. Find Keyblade wielders with potential and create an entirely separate organization. Then, like the seeds of a dandelion, let them fly to another world. They will keep the light alive.
you really think that I'm the right person for this?
Ava, you're the only person for this.
But not the organization, just a organization.
I understand.
I know it would be an organization, but
Today you're here to continue with your training for our mission. This session may seem like it's familiar to you, but in a world that is different, one made of dreams, you are our hope.
so earlier she mentioned the dandelions and I was
A
wrong.
war will
she had
soon
in fact already
wage.
established them.
Those who strive to protect the light will turn their weapons on their allies for the sake of loyalty to their own unions.
Well, yeah, because one of the unions has a bad person
To be
leading
honest,
it. We think.
I don't know how far I can guide all of you. What you must remember is that anyone can lose themselves to the darkness. However, there will be no winners. Everything will be lost. Except all of you who are the seeds of hope. When the time comes, and there is war, you mustn't fight, but instead you must fly away from here to the world outside. This training is to help you fulfill this crucial task. The future is in all your hands, as is the world's light. May your hearts be your guiding key.
Of Lushu.
The Gazing Eye?
It's not what it's called.
Oh, what then?
Actually, no name.
No name.
Well, gazing or not, that Keyblade does have an eye in it. My eye, to be exact. Ew! Oh, you think that's gross, do ya?
So
No.
Yeah,
this soundtrack with the
Anyway,
very
about your
discordant
role.
piano
You
is
need
the
to
Master of
pass down
Masters
that
theme, and I
Keyblade
love it.
to your apprentice and then him to his, so that my eye can see the future.
So the Book of Prophecies.
Bingo! The fact that it exists is proof of your success. That means you've trained a worthy apprentice, passed down that handsome Keyblade, and fulfilled your role. Congratulations! What's the matter? Come on, you did a fantastic job. At least smile a little.
But I haven't done anything yet.
Good point. Guess you'd better get started then. Unfortunately, you'll have to go alone from here on out. No Book of Prophecies to keep you company either. I can't have you causing any temporal paradoxes. But hey,
Oh, he'll
we
get
both
involved in
know
time
you'll
travel
do
anyway,
just
don't
fine
worry.
without it, right?
You guys
Do I
recognize
really
the
have to
Keyblade?
go
Do
alone?
you? Do you?
What about the others?
Never seen it in my life.
Minor details, so don't sweat it. For now, you, that Keyblade, and this box need to stay out of sight. Just watch with your own eyes, and my eye, of course, as things unfold between the others. Then, when the time is right, go off and do your thing.
What's in it?
It's a secret.
And we
And-
still don't know.
Well, you see, the thing is, you can never, ever open it. Great. Now
It
I
has no
really
latch.
want to know. All right. I'll indulge you. But this secret stays between the two of us, and you have to promise never to open the box.
I promise.
So rude. It's a secret
But
to
why?
everyone.
You'll see.
So he's going to open the box. At the right time, I guess. I guess he has to now. Like, don't ever open the box, except when you're supposed to, but...
May my heart be my guiding key.
Look, all we know is reconnect Kingdom Hearts. It tells someone a tale like this to never open the box. Them opening the box. Fair enough. And that's it. That's the end. So here's the question, chat. So what happens is the battle between the unions grows to the point that all the Keyblade wielders fight, and that does cause Kingdom Hearts to appear, sort of, and that's where the Keyblade Graveyard comes from. But the Dandelions don't engage in the war, and so the world splits apart because Kingdom Hearts appears and the darkness wins, and it becomes all the other little worlds that we know, and that the Dandelions spread, and that's how like various schools of Keyblade wielders get started and get passed down through generations. Okay, so I know at some point I learned who Lucia is. How did I learn that? By playing Kingdom Hearts 3? This game has an ending? Technically, last week, watch the secret ending. How can a movie have a secret ending? Or are you talking 3's secret ending? How much do more I have in mind to start? Probably not a lot, but I think more than some people give him credit for. But technically, last week, we did finish what is called the Seeker of Darkness arc. Oh, the Remind secret ending. Oh, okay. Well, how do I get to that? I thought for the rest of the time, actually, I just want to, because I'm guessing, I may keep today's stream shorter. Why don't just do kind of hidden Mickey hunts, honestly. Because I kind of want to get, whatchamacallit, Oathkeeper. Even though I don't think we'll be able to finish it, but we'll keep... But I think that'd be cool to have. Shorter stream. Are you banning child viewers? Yeah, Map Hack's not here. Poor Map Hack. So what we're going to do is we're going to take... There's nothing at the end of this, of the credits, is there? JM would know in particular, I feel. But we'll take a commercial break, and then we'll come back. We'll do some goofing about in 3. Yeah, you know the location of the most secret Mickey spell? Might come in handy then, because I don't. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, so get a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do, and we will be back in about 3-ish minutes with more Kingdom Hearts fun. Right, my Stream Deck doesn't work. Yeah, we are back. Choosing to interpret that as a Snowpiercer reference. Fair enough. I don't know what we're talking about, but, you know. Continue main story, because if I continue DLC episode... They had Mickey phones back then? Oh yes, battle gates, because...
Let's go check out the town!
No, Donald, we will not check out the town.
Sure are a lot of walls.
Mr. Gubachev, tear down this wall. Okay, let's start at Olympus, because I have none of the hidden Mickeys here. JM and I are sharing the brain cell. You've heard PI Master for Hire isn't very good. Are you referring to the IGN interview or review? Because that is literally the only bad one I've heard. You've heard a lot of bad reviews, really? I have not. All I've heard
They fixed your statue,
players
Herc.
is very good things.
Yep. Everybody pitched in. Still needs a little work, though.
I'm not terribly interested in it. I'm not a huge boomer shooter guy, so. It does look nice. I'll definitely give it that. But I know in the IGN review, the guy was like, "Oh, there's too much cheese." Like, dude, it's a game about mice, where cheese is going to represent alcohol. Oh, I don't want to go to Mount Olympus yet. I want to explore more of Thebes. Not game of the year, but solid. That's the impression I get. Cue the solo. Really? You think it might be a good spot for ingredients, Donald? Oh, also, I turned on a few cheat codes. Just like health regen, MP regen. Just simple things to make it a little quality of... While exploring, just to make it a little easier. So at save point, does that first get teleported in? Yeah, I'm pretty close to that, so. We turn on big head mode. I miss games that do that. Like that. Like cheat codes that didn't do anything but like change the aesthetics, like big head mode and tiny body mode. Like those were funny. Why did they take those away? Waiting for Goofy or Donald to say something.
You just leave this patch to me, ladies.
Cheating! Oh no. Oh no, I did a thing that's in the game. I'm the bad guy. Wasn't fair to get cheater rank just for changing music. Yeah.
Let's see. Nice picture, Sora.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
But if you have easy codes, I think you can turn on one-shot mode and beat all the data org bosses. It says that it doesn't work on certain bosses, which I interpret as meaning those bosses. Plus, that would require me to be able to get a hit on them. Anyway. I'm now Googling how we could make big head mode in OBS. It's called making your camera bigger. The only boss it doesn't refer is the final boss. What? Okay, that's weird. That's weird. Is that weird, chat? That feels weird.
I bet we'll find some ingredients around here. Oh, yeah.
Face tracker plugin that makes it plausible. Well, then you're just basically making a VTuber of yourself. Which has other weird implications. Do it on data.org. Really? That surprises me. Well, can you do it to Yuzora? Go ahead, VTubers deck. You can do whatever you want, Peter. Let's give this a try. A lot of real tubers are using some kind of major face altering filter. Boo, cowards. Face your imperfections.
I guess I need to check these.
Face your fears, yeah. Just like it was sung about in this game. Win. I prefer the term incarnational tuber. Holy cow! Why? Why are the secret bosses defeatable by the cheat code? This feels so stupid. No, I was in Ohio doing a baptism. Yeah, no, privacy, I get that. But you totally know there are also people out there doing it to look better. Like, I have a little color correction filter on, but that's it. But that's very normal because
the moon shines down.
How cameras and color work. What's privacy? It's that thing you have more of because you're using Linux. One moment. If I get a robocall that starts with, "Please hold," I'm not holding. Like, at this point, why isn't there just a button to say, "Watch the cutscene"?
Really? Do we have to do this? No way.
I suppose I should change my category to Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, but yeah, this is still special.
The hero thinks he's ready now.
Father speedrun data or getting sense. Oh no! Oh no! I wasn't paying attention. Shoot! Get dunked on, Luxord. That actually looked like an interesting fight because you changed the arena. Not sure this will work. Block. I could just turn on... Well, yeah, I see a little Petoni penguin. I could turn on the auto block and just stand there.
Sleep in darkness. Come forth. The darkness.
Peter, I think you'd really like this version of Kingdom Hearts. It's an old emote. Well, it worked. And now it's fitting because you're using Linux. And Linux has the penguin.
I've been waiting for this.
Have you? Your data. Dong.
Path I've chosen.
You could. I mean, you'll be able to clip it from the VOD. Close one. Yeah, so close. Oh, chat, these fights are so hard. I just really have to give it my all.
Accept the darkness.
Kinged 1 hit hearts.
Over here.
I think keep workshopping that one, but also that strength boost had arms. It's a little disconcerting.
I'll scatter you to the wind.
Ready?
Is this a Dama world? Apparently. Really sure Xemnas are your fave fights of this data set. I do like a good Marluxia fight. Oh, you're giving me extra rules of how this fight works. That's a shame.
Now,
oh, yeah.
let the game begin.
Hello, Bree. Hoi! Hoi, Raiders. Hello. I'm playing just perfectly normal Kingdom Hearts. Nothing weird is happening at all. Although I think I might actually have to fight this one. Yeah, I maybe I should have paid attention to the instructions. No, stupid auto.
Figure the rules out.
Yeah, I did figure the rules out. They're not that complicated. They're just obnoxious. Anyway, welcome on in, Bree. Hello, Inca. Hello, Bree. Hope you're doing well. Can you get a shout out for Bree? I hope you're doing well. I'm sad I missed a Bree stream. I can't hit him. Figure his rules out. No, make me. Yeah, I have the thing turned on where you one-hit every enemy, but the problem is because he has his special rules, it doesn't actually work.
It's more fun when
you can find an instant win. Yeah, there's the problem though. Also, this is actually a really nice... The time mechanic is actually a nice callback to Kingdom Hearts 2.
I have you.
On to the next game.
No, you
Play, Sora.
stupid auto-targeting. Like, I was looking at the one with the red O, and I was like, cool. We really went from easy mode to card mode. Yeah. We'll go back to that in a moment. But I hope you were doing well, Bree. What were you up to if you're still there? I understand if you had to raid and run.
Why resist the emptiness?
But for those of you who joined on the raid, my name is Father Evan, Catholic priest, streaming here 4 days a week on Twitch, looking at the intersection of faith and gaming. I got up at 4 a.m. for a flight today, so I am tired. You do the red circle, and that gives you an opening. But I just went to another card. I'm confused. Just slip away. Hey, it's all good.
Now.
Yeah, when it circles around, you have to do multiple. Yeah, but when it's all like standing up in the middle, what do like?
The game continues. On to the next game. Let's play
I hit
some.
the correct one. I completely disagree, game. I find 3 or 4 red circles. Okay, well, it's obnoxious because of the way they rotate.
Where'd I go? Where'd I go?
Yeah,
Figure the
4.
rules out. Watch closely.
Oh, that was baloney. I solved your card puzzle, Luxord. You cheated.
I have you. It's more fun when you beat the odds. Heal. Do you think you can
Them real
find
quick.
me?
Yeah, I get that, but also I didn't target that one. That one was the game just being dumb. Because it's like, oh yeah, there's the red circle one, and the auto target was on it, and then I moved half an inch, and it's like, nope, never mind.
Choose wisely. Let's play, Sora.
That was... I feel like I did that as fast as I could.
Figure the rules out. Figure the rules out.
I didn't hit X again. Ah! This bit an attack makes it harder. I believe that, but I'm stubborn and sleep deprived. And having a hard time with the camera today, apparently.
On to the next game.
I hit... Like, there it was.
Do you think you can find me?
Rude! I hit the one.
Figure the rules closely.
all fun when you beat the odds. Pick a card.
What if I don't want to pick a card? What if
Let's
I pick
play,
no
Sora.
card?
Where'd I go?
Ah, I thought that was no because of how it was turning. Playing yellow from the red cards. Under the cards. Oh! That makes sense.
Choose wisely.
We did it. We got there, chat. Totally legit win. Hey, it's a thing in the game. It is allowed. So what's this? The Shion fight? This isn't a movie. Well, it kind of is, actually, because we're doing this fight.
This one didn't respond before.
Good to see you, Omega. You've been deceived. We're doing this so we can watch another movie.
Why do you fight?
Back at you. Back at you.
Quit being so good, Shion. That looks like an interesting fight, but I don't have the brain capacity for it today. She has great music. She always does. I love the various themes tied to Shion.
Destiny is never left to chance. Your reward.
Heal.
I feel like you cheated. Why did you target the ice and not, you know, the dude?
Enlighten me.
You'll need to block a bit. I did block a bit.
Kingdom Hearts. Taste defeat. This is not what was written.
Got there.
No sign of the boy.
What a bummer.
And I'm Yuffie.
Ah!
What's up, Fairy Godmother?
Fairy Godmother. Oh, I hope I didn't startle you.
Not at all. What brings you here?
Well, dear,
Why
I
is
was
her audio
asked
so
to come by
scuffed?
Merlin and Master Yen Sid. Now, where is... Oh, Riku. Yes, Riku is his name.
Here, I'm Riku.
Why, it's nice to meet you. Now, I'd like you to tell me about the dreams that you've been having, dear.
Huh? My dreams? There's one.
Well, I thought about going to school
It was
again.
dark, and I was surrounded by tall buildings. I was looking around for Sora when I felt someone watching me from way up high.
And?
Riku Uyu.
And that's all I remember.
Ugh.
But what happens next?
Oh, I know.
Huh?
Why Riku's dream?
Oh, because Master Yen Sid was worried. you weren't having any luck finding Sora. And because Riku had been in Sora's dreams before, he thought perhaps Riku just may be the key. That's why he and Merlin asked me to come here and look into his dreams, since of course, dreams are my specialty.
So,
Yeah, but you're
Riku's
about making
may
dreams come true. Wait,
hold
hold
the
on.
Yes, dear. I'm sure there's something there that leads to Sora.
In my dreams?
You act like
And
that's the strangest thing
the
you've
other
heard
two.
today. Oh, look, it's Melody of Memory. What? That's where it ends? Hold on, time out. I read about it in the news, Wolf. That's about all. I know it was a thing. That's all I'm gonna really say. Sequel bait in my Kingdom Hearts? Melody of Memories? No melody. Because it's a rhythm game. Because that's what we all expected in our Kingdom Hearts, was a rhythm game. Yeah, no, I'll let you Zora win. Don't worry, I know.
This
Next time with
place.
Encyclical. Yeah, how about that news?
At least, I'm all here.
There's a new Encyclical. Yeah, new Encyclical dropping next week from, and Pope Leo is presenting it himself, which hasn't happened in a really long time. Like a Pope hasn't presented the Encyclical himself. And it's about the dignity of the human person, especially in an age of AI, and how we need to protect the dignity of the human person.
Huh?
Buy our Guitar Hero clone for plot critical information. Oh, it's not a Guitar
Who's
Hero
that?
clone. It's not nearly that good. Let's see how long it can last. Not very,
Where are
especially
you?
today.
Over here!
I see you.
It's Riku, but not.
Hey, aren't you?
From that video game that was inside a video
know
game?
me?
Yeah, you're Yozora, right?
How do you know that? Who are you?
I'm Sora. And actually, there's something I have to ask you.
Sora? You're Sora?
Huh? You know who I am?
Turnabout is fair
Sure.
play.
I've heard of you.
If you're here, then this can't be the real world, can it? But wait, that girl, she told me about you. Maybe you are real after all.
Is this a like
Are you
recursive
done?
Russian nesting
No,
doll situation?
This isn't the real world, and I am here. But this isn't what I really look like. How'd you recognize me as Yozora?
Huh?
Why are you using Sora's name?
Because I am Sora.
If you are who you say, and it was fate that brought us here, then my path is clear.
What?
He brought a gun to a Keyblade fight? Oh, no, sorry, a crossbow. Why are we in Sora's heart? Like, that has some interesting implications.
Hey! Wait!
I accidentally wandered into this place and went through some trials. Then, I was told to save Sora.
Huh? Then what's with the weapon?
Time to end this. You thought you'd win?
Well, that didn't last long. Because he loves us.
Sorry, but I don't lose.
So if you lose, Sora dies. That is very much not a canon ending.
I will save you.
What? Then why did you kill him? Beats up Sora, I will save you. Yeah, it's a complicated relationship, apparently. Is he gonna try to tie in Tui with this? Like, did Zora have to go through the trials of the games? That doesn't sound complicated. Sounds very normal. Well, it is Kingdom Hearts. Because he's from Nova Crystallis.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately.
That's a callback.
Like, is any of this for real?
That's how Kingdom Hearts 1 opens. That's a cool callback.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, we're right there with you, buddy. Yeah. I'll save you no matter what. After I crystallize you. Okay, let's actually...
You thought you'd win?
I legitimately tried there. I actually tried getting out of the way.
Let's do this. No chance.
There. Nope. There. No chance. There.
I messed up.
We did it.
I guess that my powers aren't needed yet.
So does this mean that they exist in each
mean?
other's dreams?
Never mind.
Question P. Tony's Team Andy? Oh. Welcome to the club. Power of easy codes. Okay, listen. It's a perfectly valid way to enjoy the game as it's built into the game. So now I gotta defend it. Because of the lies of B universe.
Commander. Commander.
Impressive, is it not?
The materia. I mean... So he's very young to be a commander.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?
Shot for shot recreation of the first 2 seconds of FF versus
makes
13.
sense to
Will
me.
someone please just let him make versus 13? That was Dylan Sprouse? That. The fact that it's voiced by that he's voiced by Dylan Sprouse is the most surprising. Dylan Sprouse? I know, right? Just Luxord. Oh, is that supposed to be Luxord driving the car? I'm just good like that, Peter. Power weight. That went up to my defense, but yeah, it's fine. Now, where was that crystal I got? What? Like the reward for having beaten him. Crystal Regalia. Oh, it's the other kind of thing you equip. I was just having a complete mental breakdown. Ah, is it Tuesday already? The joke being that it's not Tuesday. I now have the pro codes. There we go. All teams are returned to their initial default status regardless of level. What? Why does it sound like it makes it harder? Today is Friday because yesterday. No, yesterday wasn't Thursday. Yesterday was Sunday, so that's why it's Friday.
I bet we'll find some ingredients around here.
You beat all the story bosses with pro codes. It was absolutely brutal. It sounds it. I just read those and I was like, just felt tired reading it.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
I think if I were younger and had more time, I might try stuff like level 1 crit mode and all the pro codes and everything. But as it stands right now, I'm happy with the G codes.
I bet we'll find some ingredients around here.
Yeah, we're gonna steal from the market. Yeah, it's pretty much the equivalent of pushing the TV and VHS player for class. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I could have turned on one of the 358 or Recoded movies if you really wanted that. Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, the gold crown. Nice. Well done. You wouldn't be mad. I don't know. It would mean you'd have to relive Coded. Coded's pretty bad. It's the only Kingdom Hearts game I've ever beaten twice. Which is a weird sentence, but... Or just twice, I should say. Literally every other Kingdom Hearts game I've beaten at least 3 times, if not more. Never attempt that again. Yeah, I could see that being a... Once is enough. I didn't want that. Why is L1 not canceling? There we go. I just want my mushroom. So I can take it to Little Chef. I don't want the mushrooms, we know that. Here, we'll take this kid. We found one of the action figures.
Hey, you like my figure collection?
Yep, there's still more Golden Hercs, I know. Mushrooms. So good. In the same sentence?
Come on, fellas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your pasta. Ugh, why would you ruin pasta like that? Only thing that says it'll taste like meat and then actually does. What about broth and stock? Broth and stock say they'll taste like meat and do. Like so assistance. If I'm in the general area, feel free to shout out. Otherwise, I'm mostly just like goofing around. I am looking for hidden Mickeys, but you spin the mushroom wing for one college tab. Oh no, that would be so bad. Those are meat byproducts, yeah? Still technically not meat.
Let's see.
Goofy, get out of the way.
I'll help you find the next one.
But not surprising when they do taste like meat. Yeah, but that's the requirement of saying they'll taste like meat and do are technically not meat. And as we all know, being technically correct is the best kind of correct. Let me hit you, Shai Hulud. Okay, we'll go the other way now. There's just a Herc figure sitting up there. Those were not apricots on that tree. Wait.
Let's see.
Like, I need one of those for the photo mission.
See ya.
Why did we get a cutscene ending? That's why.
Let's see.
I'll help you find the next one.
Really? You haven't helped me find the last two. At some point on my own, I might go through and finally find all the hidden Mickeys using a guide. Quit leaving the action figures of yourself all over the place. The music is so dramatic and does not fit what is happening now. I mean, it fits well when you're first year in Olympus and you're like, oh, we got to make it up the mountain in time and save everyone. And I really do actually like that track. But now that we're just like here, we're just like, do-do-do-do.
Just imagine the yummy stuff little chef will whip up with this.
Will little chef whip it up, or is it really Sora? I mean, it's Sora's hands. Hi, Ether. What's that? I don't use that. Donald's flare attack with that, combined with the one-hit KO. Pretty powerful stuff. So what do we think the implication on the Yzora's secret ending is? Is that meant to imply that Sora and Yzora are the same person? Just one exists in the dreams of the others? I'm sure much ink has been spilled, proverbially, on fan forums. Like the real Soras. The real Soras are the friends we made along the way. If I'm like near one, feel free to shout out, Jam. Otherwise, I'm mostly just kind of like noodling about. We found a few. I'm also getting photo missions. So, like, I know we have to go visit Zeus. We also have to go really quickly through the areas. Yeah, but... also just roll. Also, I feel like if I'm up here gliding, I'm gonna miss them being like, oh, there's a lucky emblem. And I need Boy and Dog and Duck and Dog to help me. I don't know why, but I've decided that my workout audio is mostly just rewatching Kingdom Hearts real-time fan dub and its commentary. Considering the commentary alone is like an 8-hour video, it covers a good amount of workouts. Motion doll theory. Regards to identity and function within those unique worlds. Well, there you go. So everyone is just Sora for Xehanort. And we almost had Sora Nort. I seem to recall that there's one. Yep. You mean no camera? I'm standing still.
Nice picture, Sora.
Yahoo! Sora Nort. Just what? Well, I don't know how mechanics, but I think simply Nomura willing his first game into existence. Yes. Please, just let the man make the game he wants. Or he will infect every other game he touches with it. But will never actually be allowed to make it in full. Yeah, I don't know what that means, K-Max. I'm happy for you. See how Yuzuru Master storylines continue. Yeah, I mean, I want to see more Masters for sure. Yuzuru, I don't really care about, to be honest. It feels a little forced, which I think is saying something in Kingdom Hearts.
Hey, the storm is gone.
That's okay. See, we've got a better way up now.
Let's see.
Yeah, I guess if you've done the boss fight, I could see being more into him as a character, but No, I missed. I want to open the present. Did Sora invent the belly flop? No, because he rolls out of it, actually. Elixir? I hardly. See? He just rolls out of it. That defies physics? No, he turns his vertical momentum into strike power. Don't worry about it. Okay, I want to get back up there at those heights, because I think there's one more up there. Now you're starting to get Kingdom Hearts. I think you might have scared Peter there. Is there one in here, JM? I thought... Yes, okay, there is.
Let's see.
I was right. I remembered that.
Sora.
I like these only give 19 experience points. Sort of the absence of function is a key in specific situations. Nah, it's a key all the time. It unlocks their death. It has the power of Memento Mori in the here and now. So, it's a Keyblade. Does it have blade? No, it's a bit of a misnomer. It's really just a big piece of metal that you hit people with. It hurts. Key Club. I'm a member of the Key Club. I collect lots of keys. Okay, thanks, Herc. Herc pushed me off.
Take this.
I think you mean Achilles. Yes, thank you, one of the muses. I have seen one of the muses live on stage. I know we didn't get them all, but... Kingdom Hearts invent key jangling? No, I think Atari did. Hey, fun fact. The founder of Atari, Nolan is it Bushnell? I think it's Bushnell. We worked at the same place. Not at the same time, but we worked at the same place.
Well, I'm starting to get hungry.
Let's see.
Okay, so we still need 4 more here. Hey there, Hope. Hey, thank you for the pralines. It was very tasty. I'm going to be sharing them with my coworkers tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bet you there's a lucky emblem.
I was
here.
very worried when I got the package because I saw the word candy. Okay, I seem to recall one of the trees has a hidden Mickey, maybe? You thought it'd be more pine cones? Not more pine cones, because those come from Amazon, and I have a full thing of them, unfortunately. But when it was an unknown candy company, it was like, ooh, there's one good area on a hill close to the mansion. Okay, that's what I remember. On my PS4 save of this, I have found a good portion. I never found all of them, but I did find a good portion. Outside if you're looking for some. Okay. Hey, thank you for the lurk, Anna. The candy shop shuttered. Oh. Well, I'm happy to have received them before that. I'm sorry, Lamb's Candies. There it is. Pour one out for Lambs. You know what's crazy? This is one of the things that, like...
Let's see.
Being in sometimes certain historical things they have connections to. Reading this, they founded in 1885. The founder of the Paulus Fathers could have feasibly had candy from them. It's not likely. I don't think he ever went to Texas, and in the last years of his life, he was not in great health. But the fact remains, they were established 3 years before he died. There's one on the Georgia Tunnel. That's right. Is it on? It's on the this side. This DLC. We beat all the DLC. Now we're just kind of collecting lucky emblems in the main game. Just chilling for a bit.
Nice picture, Sora.
Okay, we were missing 2 more in the commons area. History do be like that. It's kind of like the fact my alma mater was established 1888. So it is not unreasonable that he could have read about it in a newspaper. Probably didn't. Probably no reason for him to be reading about universities being established in Utah, or really agricultural schools being established in Utah, but... I believe you know which two. All right. And my alma mater beat the Pope's alma mater. I so wish I could meet Pope Leo and tell him that in the first ever time that a Pope's alma mater was in March Madness, they lost to my alma mater. You hate that you know that? Nah, embrace it. Hating it will only make you hate it more.
Ooh, what's all this about?
Was on the bus. Oh, that's right. Was a bunch of plates you have to look at. Yeah, that's right. I remember.
We'll
Yep,
find some
there it is.
ingredients around here.
Let's see.
Nice picture, Sora.
Oh, is it on top of the Sora, stay on top of the tram. Yep, there it is.
Let's see. Got it.
Okay, I think that's all of them for Twilight Town. Nice. Let's go to 100 Acre Wood because we are here and we have just one more in there. That's right. It's only with games like them like this. And Tolkien's writings. Okay, I have that one. I have the one in the bucket. I feel like this one's misleading. Like, it feels like the 3 pumpkins here should be one, but it's not. Kingdom Hearts Lightning Lane World. You gotta pay extra for that. Oh, the application fired off. Hey! I hope it goes well. An email only. That's... I like those. You'll let me find this one? Oh no, we're gonna be here for the rest of the rest of eternity. See, like, there's lots of things that are almost a hidden Mickey. Like,
let's see.
Look at the pots. It's like Park Hopper. That's the name of the gummy ship. It's a baby brain. Used quite a bit when Mouse was little. Aww. Ah, there it is.
Let's see.
Later. I'm not coming back. Not keyboard forward. Photo missions. Chief Puff, Flame Core. That thing. Twilight Town. Picture of the tram. Oh, I should have gotten a picture of the Scarecrow. Oh well.
Let's see.
No, I just wanted a picture of Goofy for the... Where'd Donald get to?
Oh, Sora!
Okay, it's not those companions. I forgot if that one included Donald and Goofy or if it's the extra companions. Cage people move or something. I mean, they kind of have that in this game with the fact that
let's see.
You have the right attacks. Price 97 Pokemon cards for sales does need a bit of extra money. It's exciting. Well, you have promo Articuno. Hey, nice. Includes Stolen Gooby. I wanted to. Whatever.
Let's see.
Excuse me, sir. 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 Thank you.
What have you got there?
Oh, it's out of 12. That's why it was in the... Where's Rapunzel? Oh, that's right. She's hanging out in town now. It's the first day of the summer semester. Oh, are you doing summer classes? I thought you were all done with the schooling. Oh, the rocks. I was looking on the... Yep, there it is.
Let's see. Got it.
I'll help you find the next one.
Two summer classes and then just the internship. Ah, okay. That doesn't sound like a bad summer. Skywalk challenge failed? Oh no, it's like I wasn't even trying to do it. Yeah, there is... Yeah, Big Hero 6 world. Ugh.
I bet we'll find some ingredients around here.
Watch it.
Let's see.
What's that?
Well, pirates in Big Hero 6 are so massive that...
And there he goes again.
Move away from my treasure chest. I also love this overworld track. There's a wonderful airy quality to it. Okay, lucky emblem. Zapdos and Moltres. Well, I guess which one was competitive. So, you know, it's not like it. What? I mean, it's a bit linear in its world design, but it's fun. And I don't know. I also like the Tinkles movie, so.
Let's see.
Oh boy, let's find some more.
I'm pretty sure I got the lighthouse one already, but I'll go check.
Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like there's one around here made out of rope?
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
It might be. Unfortunately, we're not looking for ingredients, Donald.
That takes care of errands.
And like, I like how alive the kingdom feels when you're here. Like, there's people everywhere. They're talking about their chores, the things they've done. There's one in the brick tower. Yeah, I got the one in the lighthouse in the cauldron. Or do you mean this brick tower? Oh, there it is.
Let's see.
It's a very small one. I got the barrels one here, so I think... King of Corona. Goodbye to Rosie. The Kingdom of Corona. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. It's those two.
May they both live to 100.
With the dopey looking guy. That does not narrow it down.
Just
but I think I have that one. No, I'm not trying to talk to Donald. You all saw
There he goes again.
Sora levitating there, right? Oh, there it is.
Nice!
Nice picture, Sora.
Sora T-pose unlocked, I know, right? So there's one more, which I'm guessing is probably somewhere here in the forest. Maybe down here by the beach, since that's not an area I could have gone to earlier. Gate to the city. Yeah, it had, I mean, it has to be somewhere near here.
Hope we find some ingredients around here. Yeah, yeah.
Just based on which ones I had left.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see.
That should be all of them for Corona. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to call it for today, because I am kind of out of steam.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't use my Stream Deck. I need to fix that. I'll have it fixed by tomorrow. Oh, well, thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with you all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow, finishing up Keeper. That game should be a lot of fun. Wednesday, or that game has been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the end. Wednesday's Minecraft, of course, and for Thursday, for Throwback Thursday, I thought we'd play Return to Monkey Island 2. Whatever it's called. Monkey Island 2, the second one. So that should be fun. And next Monday, there won't be a stream. It's Memorial Day, so I'm taking the day off. I'm going to enjoy the holiday. Yeah, I think that's everything. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's see who's live that we can raid into. I'm going to throw you to Papa Tsunami because I've never had a chance to raid him before. He's a really cool dude. He does paintings in the style of Bob Ross. I got to meet him at Reach. He's super chill. He's playing Subnautica 2. Raid call is Father Raid. Use any emotes you got, especially the Meat Morp is classic. Yeah, go give him some love. He's a cool dude. I think that's everything. So hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. God bless. Get some rest like I will.